This is the 2024 Leapmotor C10, and by the time you're watching this video, you'll be able to walk into a dealer or go online, more specifically, and place an order for the new Leapmotor C10 that will be launching in Australia towards the end of this year. Now, the question we're going to look at specifically here is whether Australians are ready to buy this size SUV from a brand that is completely new to the Australian market. It's only been around since 2015. Interestingly, pricing we don't know for sure, but between about $45,000 and $50,000. So in this review, we're going to have a look at some of the exterior styling, inside the cabin as well. We'll take a quick look at some of the driving impressions, and then of course we'll answer the question, are Australians ready to buy between 45 and 50 grand the 2024 Leapmotor C10?
If you stay in touch with Drive, you'll know that we've seen the C10 in the metal in Australia, and our correspondent Mark has driven it in China, so head over to Drive.com.au to read those words, but this is our first chance to get behind the wheel out of its home market.
As always, let us know what you think in the comments section below, and don't forget to hit like if you've enjoyed the video as well. But I reckon, and I know styling's a personal thing, I reckon the Leapmotor C10 looks pretty good. It's got that sort of fluid design. It doesn't look too slab-sided, doesn't look too boxy. It doesn't have all those unnecessary styling cues just for the sake of it. It actually sits on the road quite well, and over here in Italy at the international launch, it sort of blends in to the traffic on the road quite well too. I think the choice of wheels, for example, is really good. They're not stupidly big wheels with really low profile tyres. LED lighting looks pretty classy, and the general exterior design of the car I think looks pretty good. Let us know what you think in the comment section below. Now let's take a look at some of the standard specification.
Leapmotor claims a range of 424 kilometres on the combined cycle and the ability to input 210 kilometres range in 30 minutes. This first version of the C10 is 400 volt capable, but there will be an updated version coming soon, capable of 800 volt charging. The Leapmotor C10 is a medium SUV, and we know how much Australians love SUVs in that segment. If you're looking for a new one to buy, whether it's petrol, electric or hybrid, just head over to Drive Marketplace.
First impressions inside the cabin are honestly quite good. You've got a proximity card like this. You'll also be able, as you can with most electric vehicles, to lock, unlock, start the car, do all your climate control stuff with a phone app as well if you want to. We've had a few minor electrical gremlins with the test vehicles we've driven at launch, so we couldn't unlock the car at one point and it needed to go through a reset. We've also had some issues with the sat-nav, which is internally embedded because, of course, this first model has no Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, so you have to use the system here. We've had some issues there, but speaking to the Leapmotor engineers and technicians, these will be part of rolling software updates. As they find glitches, they'll fix them, according to them, quite quickly, so we'll take them at their word for that. If you sit in the cabin and you're wondering whether it looks familiar, it is very Tesla in its feel, very minimalist. No switches, no controls except for 2 buttons on the steering wheel here, touch screen there, but importantly for us, it's got a driver's display. So you get a digital speedo here and a driver's display that displays things like sat-nav as well. I think that's crucial. I don't like it when manufacturers provide a car that doesn't have that, so I think that's really important. The central screen, huge. It's big, more than 14 inches, but really precise, works well, responds well to touch inputs. I like the imagery that it provides and the way that it works. There's no issues there. And in terms of general comfort, visibility, the Leapmotor C10 is pretty good. You've got to keep remembering that this is a manufacturer that's been building cars for less than a decade at the time this is revealed. So it's impressive that it has gotten to where it's gotten so quickly, and from the driver's seat, it's all pretty good. Let's take a look at how much room we've got in the second row. With this here, that's my driving position. First things first, back here in the second row, huge glass roof with a proper sunshade. So that'll work in Australia in terms of keeping the heat out. But what it does when you've got that shade retracted, makes it feel really light and airy in here. Even today when it's pretty cloudy where we are, there's a lot of light coming through here, so it feels quite spacious. Lots of headroom, as you can see. The seat base is quite low, but because there's a fully flat floor, it doesn't feel like you're sitting too close to the floor with your legs up too high. That's my driving position. I've got lots of knee room back here, good shoulder room. Probably wouldn't want 3 adults my size across the second row, but certainly 2 would be very comfortable. You get air vents, you get USB-A and C connection back here. Decent audio system as well, but the comfort and the visibility in this second row is pretty impressive. Leapmotor is marketing the C10 as a proper family electric SUV, and I think in terms of the space on offer, can't argue with that.
The single electric motor on the rear axle makes 160 kilowatts and 320 newton meters, and Leapmotor claims a run to 100 kilometers an hour in 7.3 seconds. The 69.9 kilowatt-hour battery pack is a lithium ferrophosphate unit and is cell-to-chassis technology. That means that Leapmotor has more flexibility and can be more creative with how and where it packages the battery into the chassis. That means you get added flexibility and space inside the cabin. There's an 8-year warranty on the battery and a 7-year warranty on the vehicle itself.
Okay, so a couple of the driver assistance systems in the Leapmotor C10 are a little bit, I guess, intrusive, maybe annoying is another word you could use. So there's quite a bit in the system here that you'd probably want to turn off when you drive the car. You can hear one there, that's a driver status one. I'm not sure why that keeps going off, but things like blind spot, lane keep assist, speed limit, alert, all those things, you can turn them off if you want to. I've left them on now, just so like that, if they pop up, you can see what it is that they're doing and we can kind of register how often they do it. The drive experience in this vehicle is actually pretty good. The ride and handling tune has been done in Italy at the Bolocco test facility. So it's been done by engineers who know how to make a car steer well, stop well, and go through a corner pretty well also. So I think that is quite an important point to make. That was some kind of lane keep assist that has just gone off. This doesn't feel fast, and what's interesting is the C10 engineers told us at the start of this presentation for this car that it wasn't designed to be quick, that wasn't the focal point of this vehicle. It was all about family friendliness. You've got 160 kilowatts on offer, single electric motor. What I find interesting though is default mode is eco, and it feels really efficient and quite gentle in eco mode. So if you floor the accelerator pedal, it doesn't take off like a scalded cat. But you've also got comfort mode above that, and then above that you've got sport and custom. So you've got a couple to play with. But the ride quality, the bump absorption, and the way that this car handles, all pretty good. That driver status monitor thing is starting to get a bit annoying, and ideally you'd probably want to stop. The lane keep assist again has just gone off. There's a driver attention warning that's going off. Ideally you'd probably want to stop and disable all of those things before you were driving. But Leapmotor has told us that what it's going to be doing is constantly updating these things upon feedback, not just from customers, but from engineers who are testing the vehicle out in the real world. If it's doing things that they're not happy with, they'll start to update their software systems so that it behaves a little bit more intuitively. But this is quite an enjoyable SUV to drive. It doesn't do anything weird when you're on the road. It doesn't have any nasty tendencies when you're behind the wheel. And as such, pretty enjoyable car to drive. I think Aussies will enjoy driving it. I think it'll do the kind of things on the road that Aussies want it to do. But as we've said in the past, there are elements of these electronics in these new vehicles. I'm constantly disabling that warning. There are elements of these electronics in some of the systems in these new vehicles from challenger brands that they really need to sort out because it is a bit painful. And I don't think you should have to disable these things in order for the drive to be enjoyable. They should work in a way that doesn't detract from the driving experience. And it's interesting because everything else about the way that it drives, we're on a twisty road up the side of a mountain here. It's great. Steering's good, brakes are good. The way that it responds is really good. It's a pretty enjoyable thing to drive.
If you're waiting to see what the Leapmotor C10 is like on Australian roads, make sure you subscribe to Drive for all our latest video reviews.
Now, first things first, if you're looking for a vehicle, not just in this segment, so not if it's electric, but if you're looking for an SUV of this size, Drive Marketplace is the place to go. You'll find new and near new vehicles for sale over there, so check that out. And if you're looking at competitors to this vehicle, video or written review, you need to go to Drive.com.au. And two that we'd throw in there, even though it's pretty difficult to align it exactly, would be something like the BYD Atto 3, and then the Tesla Model Y as well. So check out those reviews over at drive.com.au or our YouTube channel. Now, to answer the question that we asked at the start of this, will Australians be ready to spend the sort of money that Leapmotor C10 is asking? I suspect they might have a serious look at this car pending the confirmation of the price, because we don't know that. We said that at the start of the video. Somewhere between $45,000 and $50,000 for the two models that are in this range. I think compared to what else on the market, that's pretty strong value. You've got a 7-year warranty, 8-year 160,000K warranty on the battery. So that's pretty impressive as well. Will Australians be ready to consider it? I think so. I think Australians are considering EVs at the moment. And if an EV represents good value, an Australian family buyer will be more inclined to look at it. Let us know what you think in the comments section below. And don't forget the full review. The Leapmotor C10 is over at drive.com.au.
Click the video on screen now to see our detailed walk-around video of the Leapmotor C10.